Well, a very good morning to you. It is 7 a.m. Monday, March 24th, 2025. Welcome to ONNJ Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato. The phone lines are open, 888-658-0234, 888-658-0234. What a overnight we had, kind of wintry mix in some areas. We had Today, we're going to have rain most of the day, clearing late in the afternoon, highs mid-50s. Meteorologist Mike Pavetta, though, with the full Garden State forecast. Mike, spring is here and saying, eh. That's what it sounds. That's if you could vocalize spring right now, it's going like
Yeah,
that. Eh.
right. That's what I was when I was out with the umbrella this morning going, a little rainy, little misty, little windy and cold. It's that cold that's biting this morning, making it feel chilly, of course, with the wet weather. But there is some dry air in the forecast with temperatures that warm later on this afternoon. Right now, not so much. We have those steady showers coming down across New Jersey, mostly central and southern New Jersey. At 7:01 this morning, as we head up toward northern New Jersey, the showers have pretty much wrapped up, but there will be more on the way through the rest of the morning. Central portions of the state have more showers through East Brunswick, right down Route 9, and even straight through the Parkway as that light rain continues to fall. Southern New Jersey, also some steady showers down across LBI, south of Toms River, and way down there in Cape May. Good morning to you. Some of that light rain continues. Visibility, a bit of a problem, especially in the northern sections of the state, where you see these areas of red, the reduced visibility, maybe down to half of a mile, patchy fog, and up and toward Teterboro. 4-mile visibility right now there in Hackensack. Currently, temperatures are chilly. We're holding in the upper 30s and around 40 degrees, but it's that wind that makes it feel so much colder, like it's right around freezing. Wind gusts right from the south and east are blowing in at 29 miles per hour in Toms River, making it feel that much colder, even though we're running anywhere from 9 to 10 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, because yesterday was in the 20s to start the day. Very chilly. So the rain started last night, right around midnight, worked through the state. It was very light and stayed light throughout the most of the morning. And even though the northern sections of the state have a little bit of a pause in the action, I think we'll see more rain later today. The southern areas of New Jersey have more of that rain throughout the rest of the afternoon. With the future cast showing the steadiest of the showers returning through 9 and 10 o'clock. We're not out of the woods just yet. Even for you in northern New Jersey, plan on keeping the umbrellas around, at least through the lunch hour. But the winds shift direction and pull in some very mild air before the sun sets. So by 4 or 5 o'clock, we'll see a clearing and temperatures warming to 60 over in Flemington, 62 in Trenton, and 63 in Camden. Might even make it up to 60 in Newark. With that clearing that takes over, that southwesterly wind in play, meaning it's milder still this time tomorrow, and we keep it sunny throughout most of the day until another round of wet weather gets us tomorrow night. So a pretty decent Tuesday ahead with sunshine and milder weather. That springtime feel returns with a decent day as well on Wednesday. I think after that, Thursday is our next chance of some wet weather. We clear out for Friday morning, and then the weekend, as of now, looks a little wet. There could be a few spotty showers around, but there's still some time to fine-tune the forecast, especially going into the first part of the weekend. Tomorrow, back to sunny weather, highs at 57. Wednesday, slightly cooler, but mostly sunny. And then Thursday brings back another round of cool air, sunshine on tap. So a very spring-like forecast, Ken. Just have to make it through the really wet and chilly weather today, because it doesn't get much better until around 3 or 4 o'clock today.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Let's just look forward to 4 o'clock because it's kind of schmutzy and right now. But as you said, we kind of need the dampness. All right. Thank you very much, Mike. The temperature right now, by the way, is 38 degrees. And taking a look at traffic, let's take a look at this one camera Pam has for us. This is mile marker 110, Pam, south of interchange 15W on the New Jersey Turnpike. It's actually not moving too badly. A little volume at this point, but considering the roadways are wet, that's really moving pretty well. This is down in the Kearney area by 15W, but it's bad. That's pretty good at this hour in the morning. Looking at some of the other traffic woes we have, there's a crash on the Jersey Turnpike outer roadway northbound south of interchange 7A. That's down by Great Adventure 195 in Robbinsville. A left lane is closed. We have a crash on the Garden State Parkway southbound south of 136. That's Stiles Street in Clark Township. The center lane is blocked. And there's emergency construction, of course, on I-80. We could take a look at that. Pam always has that camera ready to go. We have two cameras, two different angles of I-80. Remember, this construction is in both directions in Wharton. So now you have a closed situation by exit 34, both east and west, everybody being detoured off. Look at that mess. And the fact that it's even crawling at all right now is actually a good sign, I think, because a lot of people are just giving up. They're just ignoring it and just bypassing it altogether. But for those who don't have a choice, many of the truckers, etc., this is what they're stuck in right now. This is going to go on for another couple of months at least, because we have to figure out where all those voids are. So this is the void issue right now. And we have delays at the Holland Tunnel right now. We're told into New York. All lanes are open, but travel time to the city is between 25 and 30. Our time now is 7:05. The U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy visited New Jersey on Saturday, joining Governor Phil Murphy to inspect that new sinkhole on I-80 in Morris County. The 15 by 15-foot hole, that's just the latest one, caused by collapsing abandoned mine shafts, has closed all the westbound lanes, as we mentioned, snarling traffic. Now, this follows the two other nearby sinkholes since December. Secretary Duffy stressed a coordinated response to reopen this vital artery with no immediate danger to residents.
It is remarkable what we're seeing. This is going to be a whole government approach. The state of New Jersey, DOT, US DOT, all partnering the Congress, fighting stuff from Congress, but all of us working together to make sure we can open this up and make sure this artery is moving people and products out to the great state. Right?
I love it, man. I want to thank Secretary Duffy, who's been an awesome partner over the past couple of months. This is not a fun situation for these towns up here. I want to thank the mayors and the county folks and the legislators for their patience, but most importantly, Secretary Duffy and President Trump for their support here. Big deal having you here today, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
As the governor and the secretary said, this is a whole of government approach. This is impacting people's lives on a daily basis, where the small businesses commuting to work in the morning as a teacher and adding hours on time and causing gridlock locally. We need to get this fixed, and I want to thank the Secretary for being here today, thank the governor for the state of partnership 4 weeks ago, making sure we get this done for our city. Thank you.
I'd like to make one point. This is not political, right? I get more texts from the governor and Tom on this thing, but it's about making sure people are taken care of.
That's so true.
That was that was the son of the former governor Tim Kaine. That was Kaine, Representative Kaine right there, who was speaking right before the secretary came back and spoke. Sort of a bromance between the Secretary of Transportation and Governor Murphy. By the way, Governor Murphy says that he will aim at reopening the westbound lanes sometime within the week, while those eastbound repairs will continue for another 1.5 to 2 months at least. New Jersey Transit will offer 50% round trip fares starting Monday for all the affected commuters. Could have done that 2 months ago. Just saying. 7:08 right now, wildfire raging out of control in South Jersey. Check out this smoke billowing across parts of Camden and Burlington counties. Dubbed the California Branch Wildfire, the blaze has already scorched more than 1,700 acres of Wharton State Forest, and this is in Waterford. It was first spotted near Raritan Avenue and Old Aston Road, and authorities say the flames have now jumped the Mullica River, spreading into Chemung Township. At least 2 campgrounds have been evacuated as a precaution, with crews battling to get the fire at least 50% contained. 7:08 for the second time, New Jersey Senator Andy Kim responds to a medical emergency live on TV. Check this out.
Emergency?
So watch what happens. This is live over the weekend. This happened. He was holding a town hall meeting in Brick, where an attendee apparently experienced a medical episode. Kim paused the event and ran to the back of the auditorium, where a woman was lying on the floor. She was taken to the hospital in the area. As I mentioned, this has happened before. You may recall last time Kim was on the debate stage when his opponent, Curtis Bashaw, experienced some kind of medical episode himself and had to pause the debate.
And I think that we need to make sure that we are dealing with affordability in a sensible way.
You okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
course, Kim went on to win the race. But Vashon was forever grateful for the kindness offered by Senator Kim, a good human there. May not agree with his politics, but an awful good heart he has for doing what he does, because he doesn't have to do that. That's nice of him to do that. 7:10 right now. Staffers at the Pentagon will be getting polygraph tests since the New York Times claims that several unnamed sources suggested to the paper that Elon Musk was going to be let in on sensitive military information regarding China, something that Musk, the Pentagon, and the White House vehemently deny was ever going to happen. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says he will leave no stone unturned in finding the leakers, and they will be terminated and prosecuted. So think again if you want to leak. It's against the law, by the way. It's a major federal offense. Homeland Security Director Kristi Noem says her office is stepping up polygraph tests as a result. The IRS close to finalizing an agreement with the Department of Homeland Security to help locate migrants suspected of being in the U.S. illegally. The department agreement would require ICE to submit names and addresses of people suspected of living in the country illegally to the IRS, which the tax agency would then cross-reference and confirm, all of which is perfectly legal to do, even though many liberals are trying to say that that is an invasion of privacy and personal information. But these people are not citizens, and there are rules they must follow. Tax information has generally been closely held within the IRS, and laws do prohibit improper disclosure of taxpayer information. This is not improper disclosure under the law. The IRS has encouraged illegal aliens to file taxes, a process that includes providing the agency with their addresses, employers, and earnings, although large numbers of illegals tend to remain off the grid, choosing instead to work off the books at lower wages. 7-Eleven now. Garden Staters have the highest median household income of any state in the nation outside of Massachusetts at nearly $100,000 per household. While inflation-adjusted wages have risen since 2022, those gains have been mostly offset by increasing costs since the start of the COVID pandemic in 2020. So it looks like you're making a lot of money, but everything else is so much more expensive in the Garden State that it doesn't feel like you're making any more money, as we all know. Housing and food in particular have become more expensive. From January 2020 to December 2024, Biden years, I might point out, home prices climbed 52%. Food prices rose 30% based on consumer price index data. This isn't a Republican talking point. Over the same period, overall inflation grew by at least 25%. 7:12, your gut may determine your risk of developing cancer. Researchers in Sweden at the Lund University followed 340,000 people between 1981 and 2019. And during that time, it was discovered a man's waist measurement was a much better predictor of cancer risk than their overall body mass index, which is still a better way of determining cancer risk in women. So for women, BMI levels do matter. For men, not so much. It's more how big your waist is. This is apparently called obesity-related cancers, including the cancer of the esophagus, bowel, liver, pancreas, breast, and gallbladder, among others. So those are the cancers they specifically looked at. Researchers took into account other risk factors such as age and smoking status, and in spite of that, it came right down to bigger waistbands. If you have a bigger waist as a man, you have a higher chance of developing those cancers specifically. Men with an extra 4 inches on their waistlines versus what their doctors say they should have increase their risk of developing cancer by a whopping 25%. We've heard it over and over again. Inflammation relates to stroke, heart attack, cancer. So lose the excess weight and eat an anti-inflammatory diet. Talk to your doctor about that. Usually the Mediterranean diet is one of the better ones for that. 7:14, more evidence that going woke will go broke for you. Disney's newest liberal twist on the great classic Snow White has left people staying home. The show's star, ultra-leftist Rachel Zegler, has openly trashed the original film as painfully out of touch and politically incorrect, as she knows best at 23. And the movie's writers have renamed the seven dwarfs magical people, even though dwarfs call themselves dwarfs because they feel ashamed to call them dwarfs. That's what they call themselves. This is a move that has seriously angered real-life dwarfs, for real. This progressive Snow White earned only $16 million. That's a pittance on opening day. And for the entire weekend, they only earned about $48 million for the very highly promoted opening weekend. The movie cost, by the way, about $260 million, over $250 million to make before the cost of marketing, which is very expensive. Critics on Rotten Tomatoes give Snow White an anemic 44%. The temperature right now is 37 degrees at 7:15. When we come back, like to smoke pot? You won't believe what one large study shows, and it could mean an early death for pot smokers. Plus, Mike says rain most of the day, clearing late in the afternoon, highs in the mid-50s. The full Garden State forecast from our wonderful meteorologist when we return. You are watching On New Jersey Mornings, stream daily on Roku, Fire TV, News on Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, Facebook, and X, and now stream live on Rumble and Twitch. Just go to twitch.tv/On New Jersey. We're coming right back. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings for your Monday. It is 7:16. The latest politics from Trenton with the Inside Edge in just a few. But first, rain most of the day, clearing late in the afternoon. Highs mid-50s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State forecast for you. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, Ken, happy Monday. It's a pretty decent Monday, right? We're starting off with some clouds, a few showers, but there's sunshine on the way later on this afternoon. Granted, you'll need the umbrellas this morning, maybe even the heavier winter coat because it's chilly. We'll get to that part of the forecast in just a bit. The radar over the last few hours showing the light rain wrapping up in New Jersey momentarily. There'll be more later on this morning, but a steadier shower taking across central and southern New Jersey right now. Live radar at 7:17 shows the showers working really through central and southern New Jersey at the moment, but there's still a mist and drizzle around in the northern part of the state. So it'll be wet, and the future radar through 8:30 and 9 o'clock shows more of that wet weather returning through the north and northeastern corner of the state there toward Bergen, Essex, and Morris County, even down through Union County through the rest of the morning. Now, the pollen report has a lower level of trees, obviously thanks to the wet weather, but anytime there's rain in the forecast, it tends to make the mold spores hike up to the moderate level, so that'll be likely the case today. Light, steady rain across central New Jersey with temperatures in the 50s by this afternoon. We're currently in the 30s, so we're not quite in the 50s yet. It'll take some time with that southerly breeze to warm us, because as long as that wind is pulling in off of the chilly Atlantic, water temperature still a very chilly 42 degrees. That's why the temperature across most of the state holds anywhere between 39 and 40 degrees at the moment. The wind gusts by this afternoon start to increase up to about 20 miles per hour, pulling in a milder fetch of air from the south and west. And that'll be the case tomorrow morning. A milder start on Tuesday, a breezy finish with gusts upwards of 25 miles per hour, but lots of sun tomorrow afternoon, making it feel very pleasant in through the end of the day. Even though there's another shower tomorrow night, that clears out by Wednesday, bringing back lots of sun for the middle of the week. Forecast rainfall totals could be anywhere up to an inch or two down toward LBI. Again, less in the northern sections of the state where the drought is not as severe. The severe drought is currently in central and southern New Jersey. So the rain falling right where we need it the most, and that's some good news going into spring. So this whole fetch of moisture extends up and down the East Coast, kind of giving us all of that rainfall through the rest of the morning into the midday. But I think there is a clearing this afternoon that will help us turn dry by day's end after we have another burst of rain through the lunch hour. Once we get toward 3-4 o'clock, we'll see the sunny breaks there in northern New Jersey. The rain wraps up down along central and southern New Jersey, and we clear out by the evening drive. Throughout the overnight, we turn clear. It starts off milder tomorrow. Temperatures are back in the 60s tomorrow afternoon. A quick little sprinkle tomorrow night, and then sunshine again for Wednesday, although a little bit cooler, only the mid-50s by Wednesday afternoon. Beyond that, Thursday into Friday sees another shower chance, especially on Thursday afternoon, going into Thursday night. And then Friday clears out beautifully, but the weekend, still a toss-up. We have some time to work on that part of the forecast because while there is some rain that moves in by Friday night, it could linger into Saturday and keep those showers around for the first part of the weekend, even though some of the rain may depart by Sunday. Again, really too soon to tell, so I wouldn't solidify those weekend plans just yet, especially if they're outdoors. The temperatures will be cool, but not too chilly, up around 60 degrees both days, with some showers on Sunday and then more sun by the end of the weekend. We'll talk more about that 7-day forecast, let you know how it looks going into March, the end of March. That's coming up in just a few minutes with your weather headlines.
Hey, Mike, before we let you go, a couple of things. Number one, congratulations on the baptism of Nino, your son. That's
Thank you.
wonderful to you and your wife. Congratulations and to your whole family. God bless Nino. And we also want to mention that, and something we couldn't do because yesterday we weren't on the air as the morning show. Yesterday was World Meteorological Day. So,
Yes, it was.
so it's nice that you celebrated by gathering everybody and having your son baptized on World Meteorological. I
It
think
was
that was more
it,
than a coincidence.
that's the real reason for the party, was to have everybody over and have a big party and celebration for, yes, meteorological day. But it's great
I
because
see.
it's a
See,
World Meteorological Day. Yes, it helps to kind of spread awareness of just how important meteorology is, not the person, the meteorologist, but how weather affects everyone from day to day. Not even on, the calm, we call them severe clear days when there's nothing but beautiful sunshine outside, but also how extreme weather can be, and to be aware and prepared for it, especially as we head into, nor'easter season is upon us. And then, of course, as we go down the line into severe storm season and then hurricane season, we have all the seasons here in New Jersey. So want to keep you up
yes.
to the minute
Sometimes on the same
with those
day.
weather updates. Yes, all the same
Sometimes
day,
you have all the four
exactly.
stations at the same hour. Yeah, no, I mean, think about it. It is essential. Every time when I was at Channel 7, I remember we used to do all sorts of studies. And the first thing that everyone always responded was that weather is the first most important thing they tune in for. And most people,
Hmm.
like more than half the respondents said, once we get the weather, oh, weather,
And
traffic, and then everything else. That's
in
what matters.
2025, the Pew Research Institute backs that yes, the surveys across the country, weather is still the number one reason people tune into local news.
And as much as you can get it on your phone, when there's something significant happening, you want to hear it from a human who could break it down and explain it. So
Sure.
that is key.
Yeah.
And that is why
And I
you
think
will
people are
always be
starting to
needed
realize
there.
that too, Ken. How many times have we been burned by the app? You check, for instance, this weekend, you have a party, perhaps. My sister's got my
Hmm.
niece's birthday party. The app changes twice a day. The weather forecast goes from sunny to rain. How can you plan for something like that? So yeah,
You can't.
there's
Yeah.
definitely the human element that helps break it down.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. You are a respected and appreciated person around these parts. So thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.
We'll be checking back with you always. And also want to mention that yesterday, because we again weren't on, it was National Puppy Day. We're going to celebrate that a little bit later on because our friends at Canine Companions for Independence, who do such great work training dogs for people who need them, like seeing eye dogs, etc., hearing dogs. And we're going to have them on talking about their puppy camp. So you like the way that's all tied in? It's like we planned it that way almost. Figure it out, huh? All right. We should show this wonderful camera. It was nice stuff. Let's show you ugly stuff right now. This is ugly stuff, if we could. That's ugly. You're looking at the New Jersey Turnpike. That's the approach from New Jersey into the GWB. And you can see on the right side of the screen is the upper level approach. On the left side is the lower level approach. Upper level seems to be crawling about a mile or two an hour faster than the lower level. It always depends on the day and who's taking what level. In 5 minutes, that could all change. So maybe you'll save 5 minutes taking the upper level right now. That's about it. But both are ugly and slow. And that, of course, has to do with a lot of dampness on the roads. We have a crash on the Outer Bridge crossing eastbound, the New Jersey side in Perth Amboy. The left lane is blocked through there. There's a crash on I-295 northbound, and that is north of exit 57, which is Route 130 in Bordentown Township. A left lane and shoulder closed with about a 10-minute delay through the area. A crash on the Turnpike Outer Roadway northbound, south of Interchange 7A 195 down in Robbinsville. All lanes are open, but vehicles are moved to the left shoulder. Those accident vehicles, I should say, not the driving vehicles. We have a crash on the Garden State southbound, south of exit 136, which is Stiles Street in Clark Township. The center lane is blocked. That's always a problem when the middle lane is blocked because people don't know where to detour, left or right. And again, we can show the I-80 camera. This is always sad to see. This is through Wharton, exit 34. Detoured traffic in both directions, eastbound and westbound. If you've been away in the last week, the westbound side now, has a sinkhole that opened up. So we have traffic closed east and west I-80 at Route 34. Westbound should reopen sometime in a week. Eastbound, not for another 6 to 8 weeks. That's what the forecast is. But you never know. They could find more sinkholes. It's about safety first. So this is an absolute nightmare. All right, coming back on camera, our temperature is 38 degrees at 7:25, and there is politics. Then there's New Jersey politics. Trenton is a whole different animal. New Jersey Globe editor David Wildstein has your Inside Edge.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Inside Edge. Today is Monday, March 24th, and we are headed into filing day after a big and important weekend in New Jersey politics. On Friday night, Jack Ciattarelli spent about 15 minutes in Bedminster sitting at President Donald Trump's table, and he is clearly in pursuit of a presidential endorsement. By Saturday, Bill Spadea made his way to Bedminster. He too in search of an endorsement, but at the very least, trying to get Trump to not go in a different direction. Spadea's meet and greet was, I'm told, much shorter. And neither of the candidates had an appointment with Trump. They were there as guests of club members, hoping to get an audience with the president. Ciattarelli was in Atlantic City. He skedaddled out of the state party event, skipped his own cocktail party, got on a helicopter, and came north to Bedminster. There were no guarantees for either Ciattarelli or Spadea that they would see Trump at all. So they were there and waited and hoped that the president would give them an audience. And make no mistake, a Trump endorsement in a Republican primary could be the whole ball game. Trump's favorables in New Jersey in a recent poll among Republicans is at 90%. And in that poll, 65% of Republicans said they'd be more likely to support a gubernatorial candidate if they had Trump's endorsement. If Trump endorses Ciattarelli, how do Spadea's supporters attack him being Ciattarelli as not being pro-Trump enough? Now, to be clear, a sit down in Bedminster doesn't mean Ciattarelli's getting an endorsement, but it doesn't mean he's not. And Donald Trump loves New Jersey politics. He has for decades. And I think he really wants to take sides in this primary. That can make the Republican fight really, even more interesting very quickly. And I'm saying this not to suggest that this would happen, other than to make you more informed. The deadline to withdraw from the race and not have your name on the ballot is April 4th. In Essex County, the eras of party bosses like Dennis Carey and Harry Lerner are now over. Democratic County Chairman Leroy Jones presided over a velvet revolution with the county's first open convention. That ends this process of one or a few party leaders of picking candidates. Jones, along with Joe DiVincenzo and Phil Loggia and Siley Avalenda, whose influence continues to grow, are now moving on with the times. This went fairly seamlessly, except that one assemblywoman was denied party support, but Mikey Sherrill, as expected, won a landslide victory. That's it for today. Tonight at 8 p.m., don't miss the New Jersey Globe's annual Filing Day live stream. There will be no Inside Edge tomorrow morning, and Joey Fox will fill in for me on Wednesday and Thursday. Have a great day, everybody.
And welcome back. It is now 7:29. Another sinkhole to report, this time on I-287 north in Parsippany Troy Hills. This sinkhole is due to a collapsed drainage pipe. Crazy. It caused a sinkhole on the roadway shoulder over the weekend, forcing the closure of the two left lanes. The New Jersey State DOT is investigating. No word on when those lanes will reopen. They are still closed. And at 7:30, do you like to smoke pot? Well, you better have a good cardiologist because a new study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology shows younger people who consume marijuana are 6 times, you hear this? 6 times more likely to have a heart attack or other cardiovascular episode than their counterparts who do not smoke pot. So this isn't, and it wasn't a little study either. Young marijuana users are also 4.3 times more likely to have an ischemic stroke. So that is a clogged artery as opposed to a burst. And 2 times more likely to experience heart failure, where your heart can't pump enough blood and you swell up and you can't breathe and you die. There you go. This was no small study. Researchers surveyed over 4.6 million people. That is an enormous study under the age of 50, of which 4.5 million did not use marijuana and nearly 100,000 did. All participants were free of health conditions commonly associated with cardiovascular risks like hypertension, coronary artery disease, and diabetes. So you can't say that it was because of other issues. So pot smoking will kill you much faster. Think twice. And more women do not want to get married. In fact, over half of all single women said they believed that they were happier than their married counterparts in a 2024 AEI survey of 6,000 adults. Just over a third of surveyed single men said the same. So it's just the opposite of years ago. Today, men want to get married, women don't. Years ago, it was women who wanted to get married, men did. The 2022 Pew survey of single adults showed only 34% of single women were looking for romance, compared with 54% of single men, down from 38% and 61% in 2019. Men were also more likely than women to say that they were worried that nobody would want to date them. Oh, the poor men, they all want some love in their lives. It is, sorry, I speak as a man. It is 38 degrees right now, and when we come back, girls flag football is exploding all over the nation, and now Kean University is bringing it to the Division III school in Union. Plus, Mike says rain most of the day, clearing late in the afternoon, highs mid-50s, the full Garden State forecast when we return. And we'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings, and we're coming right back. And a very good morning to 7:32, Monday, March 24th. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato. Phone lines are open at 888-658-0234. Rain most of the day, clearing late in the day, though. Highs in the mid-50s. Meteorologist Mike Pavetta has the full Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, Ken, good morning to you. We've got a decent afternoon ahead once that rain gets out of here. So we started off the morning very wet, a little windy and chilly, temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s. Well, with that rain clearing by this afternoon, it looks very pleasant into this evening, and that milder weather sticks around into tomorrow, and the spring-like forecast is around for the rest of this week. So as high as today in southern New Jersey will climb only into the mid-50s, maybe closer to 60 the further you find yourself away from the cooler influences of the Atlantic. Low 50s right onshore. There'll be a little bit of a breeze that comes in off of the south that helps us warm later on today and clear out those skies. With the clouds around today, we're going to hold right around average. We should be at 53 degrees. We make it up to 51 as a statewide average. With the sunrise happening now earlier at 6:53, sunset 7:13. Nice to see those longer daylight hours this time of year. The radar over the last few hours showing the heaviest of the rain across central and southern New Jersey, even though most of northern New Jersey saw a little bit of a break in the action right now. There's still mist and drizzle around, but there's more rain that develops that moves in for the rest of the morning. So we're not out of the woods just yet in terms of rainfall. In fact, with today being a soaker, it clears out by this afternoon. There's a small chance of rain for Wednesday as well as into the weekend. So there are a couple of dry days in there, specifically tomorrow and as well by Thursday and most of the day on Friday. Air quality today is great. We're well below that 50-degree number, which puts us at the good level and keeps our numbers nice and low. With the rain that's around through this afternoon, the front that sweeps through today clears out the clouds, makes it it feel drier and very pleasant. Then there's that other system that sweeps through late tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning, really clips central and southern New Jersey and scoots on by, giving way to another sunny, beautiful day on Wednesday. So we're dry through the middle of the week, Thursday into Friday, nice and clear, high pressure and control. We'll take it, keeping us pleasant into the start of our weekend. And then things kind of go downhill from there because I think there is some wet weather this upcoming weekend. So as the rain wraps up today, we're back to sunny weather this afternoon, and keep that clear sky right around each day. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday looks very pleasant. I think Saturday and Sunday, a decent chance of rain, even though you don't see it showing up here. There will be some light rain around, maybe some mist and drizzle. Generally not great conditions, but there is an opportunity for improvement, especially how we saw tomorrow and Wednesday's and Thursday's forecasts turn nice and bright and sunny. So still a chance for rain, even though be it small, down at the shore this weekend. But as far as temperatures go, Ken, upper 50s, up around 60 degrees in spots. It'll feel very pleasant and much like spring as we wrap up the month of March.
Imagine feeling like spring in spring. Go figure.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, Mike. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. It is now 7:36. And by the way, I was talking to Pam, our director. This is, you know how every day it's like today's national this day, national that day. There's all different organizations declare what day it is. And there's a calendar, actually. Today is a national day, whatever. So I go online, I'm taking a look, and and it'll tell you the organization that named the day. So a conservative organization they proclaim this day International Day for Achievers. You know that it's conservative, so it's about achieving, working hard and achieving something, right? Very simple, to the point. International Day for Achievers. Liberal group, UN group, declared that the day is the International Day for the right to the truth concerning gross human rights violations and for the dignity of victims. Now, not to say that that's not a valid thing. But it just shows like miserable, depressing, like conservatives, this is a day to celebrate achievement. Liberals, the International Day for the right to the truth concerning gross human rights violations and for the dignity of victims. It just shows you right there in a nutshell the difference between the positive and the negative, the outlook. And by the way, it's usually the liberal socialist countries that are causing the oppression of all those victims to begin with. And then they declare the day in honor of them. Well, trust them and you won't have them miserable. Just saying. It is 38 degrees. Pam, I'm sorry, I got off filter here. Let's show that traffic cam. We talked about ugly traffic. This is ugly traffic. This is now the turnpike going into the GWB. This is now stopped. You can see on the left side. So the left side is the lower level. The right side is the upper level. Left side is practically parked. In fact, a second ago, both sides were stopped entirely. When it stops at this point here, you're talking about probably an hour to an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes on a day like this. That's what you have going into the GWB. So plan appropriately. We also have a crash on Route 18, southbound exit 25, which is Route 79 in Marlborough Township, 2 left lanes closed. We have a crash on 295 northbound, north of exit 57, Route 130 in Bordentown. The left lane and shoulder are closed with delays through there. Crash on Route 130 northbound in Pensacola Township, 2 right lanes closed with a 10-minute delay. And we have a crash on the Turnpike Outer Roadway northbound south of interchange 7A 195 in Robbinsville. All lanes are open, but vehicles have been moved to the shoulder. And a crash on the GSP southbound south of exit 136 Stiles Street, Clark Township with a center lane block. Take a look now at I-80. This is the ongoing sinkhole problem that we have in both directions at exit 34, Route 15 in Wharton, New Jersey. You could see everybody being detoured off. That's a good hour delay when you get detoured off through the town, through Wharton. That's the mess you have right there. And that's going to go on westbound. This is going to be closed for about a week, eastbound for 6 to 8 weeks. So please plan accordingly. 7:35 is our time right now. And girls flag football is gaining serious ground in New Jersey. The New York Giants hit the field in Neptune to help launch a new season and inspire the next generation. On New Jersey's Lisa Marie Falbo is there for the action and the impact.
ONNJ Sports recently visited Neptune High School for a special event as the New York Giants and the Shore Conference teamed up to launch the 5th season of high school girls flag football. From just 8 schools in its first season to now 23, this sport continues to grow, empowering hundreds of young athletes.
We've tripled in numbers. So we went from 8 teams to we have 23 teams this year. The girl participation is way up. I know the first year teams were struggling to get 8, 9, 10 girls, and now each team has 40, 45 girls. So it is just a phenomenal sport. It's a phenomenal way for the girls to make more memories in high school and, of course, teach life lessons.
The girls ran through drills with the help of Giants legends and players.
Girls in football wasn't synonymous for a very long time, but now this sport, flag football, is one of the biggest growing entity, sports, whatever you want to call it, in the world. And I'm here for it. I was here 5 years ago in the Shore Conference when they first kind of launched it with the Giants, and to see how it's grown till today is nothing short of miraculous. It's just awesome.
I'm very happy to be here, and it's important to me that men that play tackle football see that girls our level and higher are very competitive about a sport, and they take that, they see, and it means a lot that other people see us.
Women's jewelry brand Kendra Scott was also on hand to support these teams.
Since our founder, Kendra Scott, founded our company 23 years ago, she always took the idea of impacting communities and giving back, and we haven't looked back since and continue to do it to this very day. And we really hope that the athletes can embrace that spirit of giving and know how important it is to give back to the communities that give to them.
This event is more than just a kickoff. It's a milestone in the continued growth of girls flag football in New Jersey and beyond. Thanks to the New York Giants, Kendra Scott, and everyone involved, these young athletes are getting the opportunity to showcase their talent and passion for the game. Stay tuned to ONNJ Sports for more coverage on this incredible movement.
And that is on New Jersey's Lisa Marie Falbo report. I love Lisa Marie Falbo. She is always so full of energy and cheery and warm and kind and just the most brilliant human being you'll ever find when it comes to sports. It is 7:42. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy visited New Jersey Saturday, joining Governor Phil Murphy to inspect that new sinkhole on I-80 in Morris County. The 15 by 15-foot hole we talked about a little earlier, caused by collapsing abandoned mine shafts, has closed westbound lanes, snarling traffic. This follows 2 other nearby sinkholes since December. Secretary Sean Duffy stressed a coordinated response to reopen this vital artery with no immediate danger to residents.
It is remarkable what we're seeing. This is going to be a whole government approach. The state of New Jersey, DOT, US DOT, all cooperating, the Congress, fighting help from Congress, but all of us working together to make sure we can open this up and make sure this artery is moving people and products out to the great state. All right?
I love it, man. I want to thank Secretary Duffy, who's been an awesome partner over the past couple of months. This is not a fun situation for these towns up here. I want to thank the mayors and the county folks and the legislators for their patience, but most importantly, Secretary Duffy and President Trump for their support here. Big deal having you here today, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. As the governor and the secretary said, this is a whole of government approach. This is impacting people's lives on a daily basis, where the small businesses, commuting to work in the morning as a teacher, and adding hours on time and causing gridlock locally. We need to get this fixed, and I want to thank the Secretary for being here today. Thank the governor for the state of Washington 4 weeks ago, making sure we get this done for our city. Thank you.
I'd like to make one point. This is not political, right? I get more texts from the governor and Tom on this thing, but it's about making sure people are taken care of.
That's so true.
The way it should be. Imagine the Democrats and Republicans getting along. It's like next we're going to see cats and dogs kissing each other and the sky will never fall. Go figure. Well, Governor Murphy says he aims at reopening those westbound lanes within a week, while eastbound repairs continue for at least 6 to 8 weeks. And NJ Transit is going to offer 50% off round-trip fares starting today for affected commuters. A wildfire raging out of control in South Jersey. Check out this smoke billowing across parts of Camden and Burlington counties. This is dubbed the California Branch Wildfire. The blaze has already scorched more than 1,700 acres of Wharton State Forest in Waterford. It was first spotted near Raritan Avenue and Old Ashton Road, and authorities say the flames have now jumped the Mullica River, spreading into Chemung Township. At least 2 campgrounds have been evacuated just as a precaution, with crews battling to get the fire at least 50% contained. And for the second time, New Jersey Senator Andy Kim responds to a medical emergency live on TV. Check this out. Andy Kim. Over the weekend, he held a town hall meeting. This was in Brick, where an attendee experienced a medical episode of some sort. Well, Kim paused the event, ran to the back of the auditorium where the woman was laying on the floor. She was taken to an area hospital. And of course, this happened before, as I mentioned. Last time, Kim was on the debate stage on our channel on New Jersey, and he was with his opponent, Curtis Vashaw, when Vashaw experienced some kind of medical episode himself, and they had to pause the debate.
And I think that we need to make sure that we are dealing with affordability in a sensible way.
You okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Kim stopped, as you see there, and walked over to Bashaw to make sure he was okay. Bashaw eventually returned and finished the debate. And of course, Kim did go on to finish and win the race. It is now 7:46, and we have temperature 38 degrees. When we come back, a twist on the old game of rock, paper, scissors, only this time it could win you $10,000. Plus, Mike says rain most of the day, clearing late in the afternoon, though. You'll like the sunset, highs in the mid-50s, the full Garden State forecast when we return. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings, streamed daily on Roku, Fire TV, News On, Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, Facebook, and X, and now streamed live on Rumble and Twitch. Just go to twitch.tv/OnNewJersey. We're coming right back. And welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings for your Monday. It is 7:47. How to win $10,000 playing rock, paper, scissors. We'll explain in a moment. But first, rain most of the day, clearing late in the afternoon, highs in the mid-50s. Meteorologist Mike Pavetta with your Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning to you, Ken. A little bit of a wet start this morning, but there's some sunshine later in today's forecast. Have to wait till after 3 and 4 o'clock to see those breaks of sun there in northwestern New Jersey, where the rain is still coming down over toward Newton and Hackettstown. I know it shows a few snowflakes mixed in there, but I think we'll stay all liquid today as that southerly breeze takes over and temperatures will be well into the 50s. Even for you over in Wayne and Hackensack, you get some breaks of sun by 2 and 3 o'clock this afternoon with full clearing after 5 p.m. and that will look great. Not looking so great right now, though, especially with all of the wet weather around. So most of New Jersey has seen an improvement with the drought, specifically right along 195, where you're out of a drought. Across Monmouth and portions of Ocean County, it is just simply dry. But that tan shading show the moderate drought continuing for the state. The severe drought popped up here in northern New Jersey, where a lot of the reservoirs sit for the northern section of the state, because most of the rain over the last few weeks has gone across the southern section of New Jersey. And with that, the area in red, the extreme drought, has shrunk down toward the interior section, away from the coast, there toward sections of Atlantic in Camden County. So we keep the impressive amount of rainfall over the last few days across the coast, which has been helping the drought, although still running at a deficit there in northern New Jersey and back over toward Medford and Millville. Throughout the next few days, anticipate to see a dry period continue. I mean, today's rain helps, but it doesn't put down the inch or more needed in Hackettstown and Sussex to help that drought just over the last month or so. Now, looking into the first week of April, we like to take a peek beyond the 7-day and see where temperatures will sit. We look to be above average, as is the case for most of the country. A large swath of above average temperatures likely down in Texas and the desert Southwest, and some of that will spread here into New Jersey once we get into the first week of April. But those April showers, the cliche may come true, especially with another round of wet weather or higher than average chances of rainfall going into the first part of next month. At least we stay dry this week, wrapping up March with a pretty quiet note. Once the rain is over, just after lunchtime today, we'll see a clearing for the evening rush, and that sun sticks around with milder weather for tomorrow, maybe some extra clouds on Wednesday, and dry for Thursday. I think the weekend could have some extra clouds and maybe a little bit of shower activity come Friday night to Saturday and Sunday. Not heavy rain, but it's something to keep an eye on for the weekend plans. Same for you at the shore points. Beautiful tomorrow with the southerly wind away from the water, and then that wind switches direction to get those afternoon breezes, which cool you down into the 50s throughout Thursday. Friday could be up around 60, and then Saturday and Sunday, mostly cloudy skies. So overall, not a terrible way to wrap up the month of March. Could be worse since we are in nor'easter season, Ken, and typically we get these, big windstorms and big rain events, but and it usually batters the coast, as the beach replenishment operations are underway for the summer season. But so far, so good.
Well, and sadly, sometimes we do need that, as you mentioned, to replenish all the absence of water. So we have that rain. Sometimes it all comes at once with a big nor'easter like that.
Yeah.
But the way Mother Nature manages things, right? When we need the rain, okay, we'll give it to you all at once. There you go. All right, Mike, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. It is 7:51 right now. We have a temperature of 38 degrees. We do have some traffic because of the rain, of course. So let's take a look. We have right now, there's a car off being tended to. In fact, right now, this is on the Garden State Parkway at exit 136, just south of 136. You can see on the right, just on cue, the emergency vehicle showing up to take care of a car that's on the shoulder, causing some delays through that area. We also have problems, a crash on 295 northbound, north of exit 57, Route 130 in Bordentown Township. The left lane and shoulder are closed. We have the emergency, we can bring up the sinkhole, emergency construction on I-80 westbound and eastbound. So this is now both directions. You can see cars being detoured off in Wharton, exit 15, Route 34. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. Exit 34, Route 15. There you go, in Wharton. Cars now being detoured off into Wharton, both directions. The westbound side will be closed for about a week, eastbound side for 6 to 8 weeks, so please plan accordingly. And your travel time across the GWB is at 45 to 50 minutes, across the Lincoln Tunnel about 35 to 40 minutes. The time now 7:52, and there is a twist on a classic game that could land one lucky winner, a $10,000 prize. The New Jersey Lottery Rock, Paper, Scissors Throwdown is turning the centuries-old method of settling disputes, into a high-stakes competition. The event, set for March 29th and 30th at American Dream in East Rutherford, is open to anybody 18 and up, with a total prize package of $25,000 up for grabs. Joining us now is Howard Freeman, the producer of this unique tournament. Howard, welcome.
Thank you, Ken. How's everything?
Good, man. Thanks for coming on this early morning. And rock, paper, scissors, a game that most of us knew from childhood. I was always bad at it, by the way. What inspired you to turn this simple game into a major competition with a $10,000 grand prize?
We've been working with the New Jersey Lottery for years now, both on our Balloon Festival and on our Rib Festival. And we got to talking about an event that they could put their name on. And, everybody who hasn't played rock, paper, scissors in their time, it's a fun game. It's something that everybody knows. You don't need any athletic ability. And here's a chance to win up to $25,000, $10,000 first prize. 12 people will win all together, all the way down to $500 this weekend at American Dream, as you said. And it's going to be a fun competition. We've got 384 competitors from as far away as North Carolina and Ohio. A little 90% are from New Jersey. It's about a 50-50 split between women and men, and we've just been fascinated by the type of people we got.
Well, tell
we
us,
have
Howard,
how many who thinks they can win on rock. We've got some statisticians who thinks they have some information. We have a woman who found like 400 four-leaf clovers and thinks she's lucky. So we have a champion from the last time there was a competition, 2004, a gentleman named Dave DeCino from Plainfield, So it should be pretty fun.
That is, Howard, tell us, because we got about 4 minutes left here. So tell us how the tournament's going to work from the early rounds to the finals.
It's going to start at 12 o'clock. Participants can get there early. People can come out and watch at American Dream right at parking deck A up the escalator. It's the best 3 out of 5 to begin with. We're going to winnow it down. And Sunday will be the finals, and that's 4 out of 7, and that'll be a multi-play situation. We will have 2 competitions going on at a time. It's a 3-camera shoot. You can watch it live on Facebook Live. So it's going to be professionally done. It'll prove that anything can happen in Jersey.
I love that. And you've partnered with the New Jersey Lottery for the Throwdown. How does the event tie into the spirit of playing the lottery, which I use, by the way? I'm on Jackpocket all the time. I'm always buying New Jersey Lottery. What is this new scratch-off game that they're debuting at the event too?
They have a thing called New Jersey Pop. That's the first time there's ever full color game. It'll be previewed. It comes out April 6th, technically, to the public, but it'll be previewed, and you can actually buy the game next weekend at American Dream, right outside that parking deck A. Full color, you win up to $200,000, and it'll be a lot of fun. But, the lottery, look, it's a game of fun. Not a lot of skill involved. People think they have lucky numbers and stuff like that, and that's just what rock, paper, scissors is. It was invented, and the first time that anybody's seen it was in 206 BC in China. It then was brought to Europe in about the early 1900s. It came to England in about 1920, and then got very popular in the United States in 1930. People like The Rock, who we've invited, play it all the time. Drake just won gave away $20,000 in a rock, paper, scissors competition in Canada. So, we hope that this is going to be a game here, the first annual New Jersey Lottery Rock, Paper, Scissors Throwdown. That'll bring a lot of fun, and hopefully people will win. Somebody will win $10,000, and people win up to $25,000. All the competitors, and there are still places available in case people drop out. So if you go on to NJ-RPS.com, you can enter. There'll be all kinds of swag, merch from New Jersey Lottery given out to the public. As you said, you could buy that New Jersey Pop game, the full color game, and went up to $200,000. So we're pretty excited for next weekend at the American Dream.
I think you should be. That's a big deal. And for people who haven't been to American Dream, it is an experience. You really, really, really have to. I mean, even if you're coming from outside of New York, New Jersey, rather, come in from the New York area, Connecticut, American Dream is a destination hub. You really want to go. And it's happening there, as you mentioned, on that weekend. This coming weekend. And one of New Jersey's biggest entertainment hubs, of course, is American Dream. So what can the attendees, whether they're competing or just watching, expect to experience over the 2-day period? Just walk us through it.
We have professional referees. They do the New Jersey High School Wrestling Championships. So there'll be a stage in front of that escalator. There'll be a 3-camera shoot, as I mentioned. There'll be 2 or 4 competitors, 2 at a time, on each table. They will be standing up and shooting rock, paper, scissors, best 3 out of 5. As you know, Ken, rock beats scissor beats paper, and paper beats rock. We've done, it's incredible how much research is out there. 42% of the people throw rock first because they hear rock, paper, scissors. So the first thing they hear is rock. Last thing is scissor, which is the second most popular thing that is thrown. You would think you have a 1 in 3 chance. There's people who take this seriously and say, if you look at your competitor's shoulder and see that it's tensing up, he might throw rock. If his hand is extended, he might throw scissor. Personally, I think they're taking it a little more too seriously and just go out there and have a good time. So for the competitor, for the people watching this who are passing by in the mall or coming from the food court or the ski trail thing, they're just going to have fun cheering on their favorite competitors. I'm sure, just like in a hot dog eating contest or something, these people are going to be dressed up, or they'll each have their cheering squad. So pick someone you like, cheer for them, and hope they win.
See, I knew you would have some inside tips like that. The shoulder, I love that. And really, with about 10 seconds left, I want that website one more time, Howard. Tell us again how.
NJ-RPS.com. First annual New Jersey Rock, Paper, Scissors Throwdown, March 29th and 30th at the American Dream. Anything can happen in Jersey. And that will be proven next weekend.
I love that. The New Jersey Lottery Rock, Paper, Scissors Throwdown, March 29th and 30th at American Dream in East Rutherford. Producer Howard Freeman, thank you so much for coming on and joining us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you, Ken.
You bet. Have a great day. It is now 38 degrees at 7:59, and the next hour, is there a red wave blowing over New Jersey? At least one Republican candidate for Congress believes there is. Plus, Mike says rain most of today, clearing late in the afternoon, highs in the mid-50s, the full Garden State forecast when we return. And we'll take your calls at 888-658-0234, 888-658-0234. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings, and we are coming right back. And a very good morning to you. It is 8 a.m. Monday, March 24th, 2025. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, and the phone lines are open at 888-658-0234, 888-658-0234. Rain most of today, clearing late in the afternoon, highs in the mid-50s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the full Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Ken. Some light rain across New Jersey right now, but we will see some clearing this afternoon. So you need the umbrella, maybe the winter coat, because it's chilly this morning as temperatures hold in the 30s across New Jersey, maybe around 40 degrees. The light rain that's falling is primarily in central and southern New Jersey at a steady clip, but there's still some mist and drizzle popping up here in northern sections of the state, up by Sussex and Vernon, and then back over there along Route 78 by Bedminster and over toward Bernardsville and Somerville right now. With those showers moving to the north and east, pretty much everybody gets another round of wet weather today, including you right along the interchange there by the Parkway and Turnpike where they meet in 440 and 287. There by Perth Amboy, some of those showers steady at the moment, and the light rain continues across central and southern New Jersey. So this will be the case up until about 2 p.m. today, where visibility is rather low thanks to that fog developing up there in Sussex County and north and west there in the valleys, north and west of 287. You can see some patchy, dense fog. Throughout the morning, as temperatures hold in the 30s and low 40s, the chill will be around until the sun breaks through the clouds by around 3 and 4 o'clock today. At the shore, with that southeasterly breeze, that's where it feels chilly, especially gusting up to 34 miles per hour now at 8:02 this morning. At least we're running about 9 to 12 degrees above yesterday's temperature during the morning hours. So the rain came in around midnight, lasted through the overnight, and continues through the rest of this morning. Not much change there, but some steadier showers across southern New Jersey. I think we'll see the rain finally lift once we get into the early afternoon. So still some rain lingering through the lunch hour. And then once 2, 3, 4 o'clock rolls around, notice how the skies clear out, clouds dissipate, and temperatures soar to 60 in Flemington, 62 in Trenton. That lovely southwesterly breeze taking over and making it feel very mild for this afternoon, about 8 degrees above average. Later on tonight, it does not get as chilly, so tomorrow with the sun, it'll feel very nice. That lovely southerly breeze feeling wonderful. And then throughout tomorrow night, quick little sprinkle, mostly central and southern New Jersey, but we're back to regularly scheduled sunshine throughout Friday afternoon. The forecast over the next few days shows lots of clearing throughout the day tomorrow, and that, of course, translates to milder weather. We could hit 60 in spots, slightly cooler by Wednesday and Thursday, but to be in the 50s in the end of March with nice, dry, calm weather, Ken, it'll look great and feel great going into the end of the week.
Unbelievable. Well, I'll take feel great any day of the week. That's definitely a good thing. All right, Mike, thank you very much, sir. And we have a temperature of 38 degrees now at 8:03. Pam, if we could take a look at some of our traffic we have. This is on the Garden State Parkway first, and right there you're looking at the area of Bloomfield. This is by the Essex Toll Plaza. Look at the traffic on the right side. This is going into the toll plaza. So you could see a combination of volume and the wet roadways doing a little number on that. So that those cars are moving about 5 to 10 miles an hour. That's about it. Lucky they're moving at all with this kind of traffic and volume at this hour. If we come back on cam, we also have some other issues to talk about, including some problems now at the Lincoln Tunnel, delays into the Lincoln Tunnel. It's about a 30-minute delay getting into New York. Also delays at the Holland Tunnel. The South Tunnel eastbound New Jersey side, there are problems. There's some delays there going into the toll plaza. We're told now it's about a 25 to 30-minute delay from Route 139 at the Tunnelly Circle into New York. I want to take a look at the GWB. This is an absolute nightmare. This is going into the upper level on the right side, lower level on the left side. All morning long, the upper level has been moving at about 5 miles an hour, which is something. The lower level is parked. Look at the lower level on your left, absolutely parked. So if you have to go into the GWB, we're told it's about a 45-minute ride on the upper level and about an hour on the lower level. So at least it's slow either way, but your better bet is to head to the upper level if you can make it over there. We also have ongoing problems, of course, on I-80, and that is the ongoing sinkhole repair. The governor, of course, meeting with the Secretary of Transportation over the weekend and saying now that the I-80 east and west are going to be closed. Westbound will be closed for at least another week. Eastbound for 6 to 8 weeks. If you want to take a look at this, everybody being detoured off. That's a good hour delay as you make your way through Wharton. An absolute mess. Again, this is exit 34, Route 15 in Wharton. Avoid that area if at all possible. Sinkholes, 3 of them being worked on right now and many more voids being found. They want to make sure that that roadway is perfectly set before they reopen it to traffic. Our time right now is 8:05, and New Jersey, long considered a Democratic stronghold, might be America's newest swing state. With the 2026 midterms on the horizon, Republican congressional candidate Billy Prempa is making waves in his bid to flip New Jersey's 9th district red for the first time in decades. Prempa, a U.S. Air Force veteran and Paterson native, joins us now to discuss his campaign and why he believes New Jersey is ripe for a political transformation. Thanks for being with us, Billy. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Ken. Thank you for having me.
You bet. And you've said that New Jersey could be the next big swing state. What is driving that shift? Do you think it's the voter sentiment, policy frustrations, or do you think there's something else?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Over the past 8 years, life has gotten a lot more expensive in the state of New Jersey. And if you were to focus on what's going on at a federal level, people are starting to see that our government has been spending money recklessly. They're pushing for policies that no one necessarily agrees with. And I think that's where the issue is coming in with this race here in the district. So as I've been running, we've been able to significantly close the gap and get several people to vote Republican, many of which who have not done so in a long time, a lot with the frustration of the previous Biden administration. And unfortunately, there was also a power vacuum after the passing of the late Congressman Bill Pascrell. The messages that I've been pushing to our community have been very simple. Our generation, the next generation, will be one of the first generations to inherit a country that is much worse left off than previous generations have had it. And it's getting harder and harder for the average American to start a family or even consider buying a home for the future. And the policies that I'm pushing for is ways to fix our education system, bring new trade programs in, because our country is short hundreds of thousands of workers in these trade sectors. So I'm creating programs like the Freedom of Education Plan to help facilitate bringing trade programs back into our schools and push for incentives to actually invest in our communities. The current Congresswoman seems to be just voting in line with whatever the party has told her or whatever her donors seem to want. Doing things such as voting against keeping women or keeping men out of women's sports, or even voting against the Lincoln Riley Act that would have pushed out people that were in our country illegally that have harmed American citizens. It seems that whenever there's something that the conservatives or most Americans seem to want, she's going against that. And if they continue to do this, which I think she probably will end up doing, I think that we have an opportunity to put forth a policy that can make our country move forward as opposed to just towing an ideological line.
And Billy, you've run for the seat before, but each time you narrowed the gap more and more. And we know that, like Passaic County, for instance, voted for Trump this time around, something that no one thought would ever happen. Passaic County voted for Trump. The city of Paterson did not. But the city of Patterson really closed the gap a lot. So that's really close striking distance. And you came within striking distance in 2024. What is the difference about your 2026 campaign, you think, that makes you confident that you could flip the ninth district red this time out?
Well, with 2024, the Democratic Party didn't really have much of a choice in selecting who they wanted to represent them. The party essentially chose Nellie Poe to represent them. A lot of people were completely unfamiliar with her policies and what she stood for, and a lot of people that were loyal to Bill Pascrell didn't really have much of a home as to who they wanted to choose and vote this year. But now that we're only less than 2 months into the Trump presidency, and we see what the current Congresswoman stands for, we can see that we're more of the same exact stuff that we had last time, except a little bit more radical. The messaging that we're doing is going to be consistent. We're going to continue to show up in areas that traditionally Republicans don't show up in, and we're going to continue to knock doors, make the phone calls, and push our policies forward in the same way that we've been doing for the past 4 years. I believe that the message that we're pushing is consistent with the needs that America wants at this current time. And it's just a matter of meeting people where they are and getting our messages to the forefront and representing them in Washington, D.C. to the best of my ability.
You know, Billy, when you look at the districts in the state of New Jersey, you know that the very corrupt Democrat machine in Trenton created the districts and carved them out. It is so blatantly obvious. It's like, okay, let's make sure that we always have a Democrat here, and we always have a Democrat. I mean, it's a game that they love to play. But, you know, I guess Republicans have done it in certain states too, but Democrats don't even try to mask it. They just say, this is what we're going to do. Your district, the ninth district, includes very diverse communities. So you have Patterson, which of course has been financially challenged for years. And then you get parts of Bergen and Hudson counties too. What issues are voters telling you matter most to them? Because you have people who have all sorts of different things that matter depending on which county you're in.
So one of the good things that I like about our district is it gives a very wide understanding of what I believe represents a lot of the state of New Jersey. We have very affluent areas such as Franklin Lakes, inner cities like Patterson and the city of Passaic. And universally, one of the biggest issues in 2024 that I believe the Democratic Party significantly overlooked was the immigration problem. If you look at Passaic, for example, while I won the larger portion of the district in Bergen County and in some parts of Passaic, President Trump did exceptionally well in the city of Passaic. And the reason why that was when we were working with a lot of people in the community and listening to their opinions and what's on their mind, they're sick and tired of the illegal immigration in our country. And while Democrats look at it as a noble thing to keep people in our nation that don't respect our laws, a lot of people like my family and other immigrant families that have come to the United States the right way, legally, to start their businesses and start a new life, they're not very appreciative of the Democratic Party consistently pushing to support illegals in their city. Patterson, for example, has become a sanctuary city. Violent crime has only gotten worse, and it's started to become very overcrowded. People don't like the fact that they're paying lots of money in their taxes and they're getting a subpar quality of education, which is another one of the reasons why I agree with the president getting rid of the Department of Education. I think that our education system should be a lot more localized, and there should be a focus on the needs of the parents and not so much the agendas of what Washington, D.C. or Trenton wants. And these are policies that resonate across the board. And I believe that if we continue to do this, we'll be able to close that gap and get that additional 4% that's necessary to win this election in 2026. And I'm very excited about it. I think that I've got one of the greatest shots that this district and our state's had in a very long time. We're currently on the NRCC watch list. Right. And so we're currently on the watch list.
Yeah,
I believe
you talked about that. I see that. I don't mean to step on you, only because I see we're running out of time. I want to get a couple of things in before I lose you. But as you mentioned, the National Republican Congressional Committee, the NRCC, they targeted the district as a top pickup opportunity for 2026. So getting that national attention, does that impact how you shape your strategy and the role that you see President Trump's, and not former President Trump's, President Trump's influence in playing in your race? Do you think that Trump would come and campaign for you?
I think Trump, and listen, I've also made a statement on social media where I said, how great would it be if we can get President Trump to Hinchliffe Stadium in Patterson? And this is, a little bit tongue in cheek, but it would be an incredible thing. And I think it'll be very beneficial, not just for the race in the 9th district, but also to help foster conversations and create an opportunity for people across the aisle to hear some new policies as well too. So I'm excited about it.
And to skeptics who say flipping your district red is a long shot, what would you like to tell them?
They've been saying that to me since 2020. They've been saying that in 2022. But the truth is, none of them have knocked the doors. A lot of them have not actually went into different parts of our community and seen that the sentiment is actually quite the opposite. In fact, in 2024, there were a ton of Democrats that came our way and decided to vote for President Trump, many of which who just felt disenfranchised by the party. And I've been saying this for a while. People are frustrated. They're just not motivated to come out and vote. And bit by bit, you can consistently see that with our grassroots effort, people have been able to come out more and more, and they're not ashamed and afraid to state what's on their mind and question more from their government. And I intend to continue to push that same narrative and get people more publicly involved in their election process.
Billy, we got about 30 seconds left. Talk about your Revive America plan.
The Revive America plan is, as you can see in the state of New Jersey, potholes are a tremendous issue. You see issue that I believe this is in Avenue. I saw this not too long ago on the show. What the Revive America plan would do is it would create tax incentives for businesses that decide to open up factories in the United States, areas that were predominantly manufacturing powerhouses in the past. For example, Patterson, Newark, Canton, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, these types of areas that business has been abandoned. What the Revive America plan would do is it would give tax incentives to business owners that decide to rehabilitate old factories and bring these companies back or implement new industries. And they'll receive tax breaks for hiring people within the community or within the county that the factory resides in to help stimulate the economy as well as add for more job opportunities. This would also allow for tax incentives to go back into our states and allow them to invest into infrastructure and repairs that our country much desperately needs. And I think that when partnered with the Freedom of Education plan, people will be able to learn different trades and skills that our country is absolutely in need of. We're short about 500,000 electrical workers, for example, that we're going to need to fill between now and the year 2036. And I think that these two policies would help, especially a lot of people in the inner city that are not only in desperate need of jobs, but opportunity as well.
Well, yeah, I'm with you. Stop talking your logic. You and your logic. It's crazy. We tell every kid, go to college, and incur $300,000 in debt and get your degree in female lesbian studies from Lithuania, which will get you nothing in life, as opposed to becoming an electrician or a plumber, and you could graduate college or graduate trade school, I should say, with zero in debt and start off your first year making $200,000. What would you rather do? It's so logical. Billy Prempa running for Congress. Good. Give us your website because we're out of time right now, but I want everyone to have your website.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Logic is what's going to get us to win this party. And for anyone else that wants to learn more about the Freedom of Education plan as well as the rest of my policies, you can go to www.billyprempa.com to learn more.
All right. That's Billy, Prempeh, billyprempa.com. So make sure you go there. Thank you so much. Congressional candidate, Republican, Billy Prempa from New Jersey's 9th Congressional District. Thank you for joining us. Come back anytime. It's good to have you on.
God bless you, Ken. Take care.
You as well. God bless you. It is 8:17. We're coming right back with New Jersey's tech expert, Fisher. He's going to join us to talk about who may be buying TikTok. And Mike is saying rain most of the day, clearing late in the afternoon, highs mid-50s, the full Garden State forecast when we return. You're watching ONNJ Jersey Mornings right here. Don't go away. Welcome back to ONNJ Jersey Mornings for your Monday. It is 8:18. Do we have some buyers for TikTok? Brandon Digital Strategist Fisher will join us with the latest in just a few. But first, rain most of the day, clearing late in the afternoon, highs mid-50s. Meteorologist Mike Pavetta with the Garden State forecast for you. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, Ken, good morning to you. A little bit of a wet start this morning, but never fear. We've got some sunshine later today that'll warm us up and bring back a milder finish to the day. But that rain is coming down across most of the state, light and spotty up in the central and northern sections of New Jersey, and then pretty steady and kind of at a good clip right now over toward portions of central and southern New Jersey, right south of 195, with that light rain continuing. Now, at 8:19, the radar showing with most of the wet weather across the southern portion of the state. The future radar through around 10 a.m. puts more rain across northern New Jersey. So if you think you're done with the wet weather up in Morris County, over toward Essex County, Hudson County, and even in Union County and Essex, I said Bergen County. Need more coffee this morning. It's kind of one of those gray, gloomy starts. Or it could also be the pollen. You will have some more rain on the way for today. So the rain actually helps the tree pollen lower, but tends to help the mold spores spike. And that may be the case by day's end with all of that wet weather around. An easterly breeze keeps the air allergy free over at the shoreline with the wind right off of the water. Temperatures there will hold in the mid 50s by this afternoon, thanks to a wind shift, which pushes in milder weather. So the current wind direction, again, off of the water, wind gusts up to 17 miles per hour in Long Branch, 18 mile per hour gusts right now in Newark. But later today, by 3 and 4 o'clock, that wind shifts direction, blowing in from the south and west and providing a milder fetch of air, also clearing out our skies. Tomorrow morning, it stays blowing from that direction, so it's nice and mild by the afternoon, breezy on our Tuesday with gusts up to about 25 miles per hour, and then a pleasant Wednesday ahead with the air kind of turning still, and then we'll likely see temperatures warm up as well by Wednesday afternoon. So the additional rainfall from what's already fallen could be upwards of, again, maybe a half inch there toward Morristown and Newark, but as much as another inch to fall right down the parkway there across the central and southern portions of the state. You can see that shade of blue showing up to a half inch, the shade of green up to an inch where the rain is needed most, and that's where the drought is still severe. So all of this rain stretches all the way back into the mid-Atlantic and down across the Appalachians, and it moves eastward over the course of the day. So by the time we get to 2 and 3 o'clock, the worst of the rain has cleared on out. We get some breaks of sun in northern New Jersey, likely still a few showers along the parkway, but by 5 o'clock, it's all done. And we're back to dry weather with temperatures even at 9 o'clock holding around 50 degrees. Not too shabby, considering that's our average afternoon high this time of year. Keeping it mild for tomorrow and then warming it right back up into the upper 50s tomorrow afternoon. A little bit of a shower chance later tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, but I think it's overnight. Shouldn't be an issue during the day. And Wednesday's looking pretty decent with less winds. I think the winds relax by Wednesday afternoon. So the futurecast has clear sky on Wednesday. I think a great looking day without the wind. Thursday starts off nice and dry, looks clear most of the day. Maybe some clouds return later Thursday night, which start to clear out by Friday. But the chances of rain increase as we head into Friday afternoon and evening. Look at the rain come in by 5 o'clock Friday, and some of that wet weather could linger into a portion of this weekend's forecast. It's still unclear as to how much rain will fall on Saturday and Sunday, but I think the chances are looking pretty good for some wet weather this weekend, especially on Saturday, maybe some on Sunday. So overall, kind of a showery forecast for the weekend's weather, but we stay dry until then, so enjoy that sunshine. When it returns, after about 3 o'clock today, we get some of those sunny breaks. We'll look forward to that. Sunset, not until after 7 p.m., Ken. So those nice longer days, making it feel more and more like winter's over day by day.
You got it, but it's dark in the morning for now. All right, Mike, thank you very much. Although that will change by about a minute each day as we progress forward. Thank you so much, sir. It is now 39 degrees at 8:23, and we do have some traffic to show you. Let's go right to the New Jersey Turnpike as you make your way into the GWB. Again, very heavy. Now starting to move. 5 minutes ago, this was dead stopped in both sides here. The left side of your screen, you're looking at the lower level approach from I-95 to the GWB, and on the right side, that's the upper level. All morning, it was the upper level that was giving you a little bit better of a ride, but now they're both starting to move. So maybe that is a good sign. About 45 minutes overall getting in by the GWB. We have a crash on I-295 southbound north of 26S, which is I-76 down in Belmar in the Philadelphia area, the right shoulder closed, about a 10-minute delay. We have a crash on Corbin Street, northbound north of Fleet Street in Elizabeth. right near the airport. The left lane is blocked there, and a crash on the New Jersey Turnpike Hudson County extension outside the interchange 14A, Route 440 area by the Bayonne Bridge in Jersey City. 2 lanes are blocked. We can go to the I-80 cam in Wharton again. This is I-80 closed both directions, east and west exit 34, Route 15 in Wharton, everybody being detoured off. At least we see a little bit of motion there on the westbound side. That's not bad. Eastbound just stopped as we have traffic going right through Wharton. We're told by the governor the westbound side will reopen to traffic within a week, the eastbound side 6 to 8 weeks. It is 8:24, and do we know who may be buying TikTok? And what is the deal with the FAA and all their antiquated computers in this high-tech time? Joining us now is our tech expert, brand digital strategist Fisher, who can be found on X, Threads, and Instagram with username @Fisher, and through his website, fisher.media. Good morning, sir. And so are there some front runners to buy TikTok now?
Yeah, and it's all speculation, as we've always talked about with TikTok and who's going to buy it. Again, we'll do a little rewind. Congress passed a law saying that TikTok would be banned in the United States January 19th. President Biden, on his way out, signed it into law. January 20th, President Trump comes in, signs an executive order saying, nope, you can use TikTok. Somewhere in there, Attorney General Pam Bondi allows Google, Apple, Oracle, and all U.S.-based companies to allow TikTok so that they wouldn't be prosecuted for going against the law. So now we come to the time period, right? April 5th is supposedly the date that TikTok and their parent company ByteDance have to spin it off to American-based companies. Well, TikTok's parent company ByteDance does have minority U.S.-based owners. Susquehanna International Group and General Atlantic are already investors and board members, and private equity firm KKR is also rumored to be part of this process. So instead of having a third party, as we've talked about in past reports, this might actually come from inside. Now, what needs to happen is that Susquehanna International Group, General Atlantic, and possibly KKR need to up their stake in ownership and dilute China-based ownership to below the United States threshold of 20% of foreign ownership. Reuters reports that ByteDance continuously states that the United States has misstated their ties to China, meaning ByteDance ties to China. They say that their content recommendation engine, which is their algorithm that we talk about, and user data are stored in servers in the United States operated by Oracle, while content moderation decisions that affect American users are also made in the U.S. So basically, they're saying that everything's in play. But under the new org, it has to be laid out that it will guarantee that all data for U.S. users will be stored, or as they say, continue to be stored on U.S. servers with no backdoor access to China. And that might be the sticking point of, they may say, and it might actually have data stored on U.S. servers, but right now China might have access. And then under the new ownership, it'll be primarily or majority owned by U.S. owners with a minor ownership by ByteDance, which is tied to China, but all data has to be stored on U.S. servers and no access to China at all.
Yeah, the way you'll find out is if they say that it's no longer owned by China, but every time you go on TikTok, you suddenly get ads for Temu or Alibaba popping in your inbox.
Well,
That your data.
But technically, they still
there.
can advertise, right? So they're still advertisers. So it's
Yeah.
still allowed. I still will add, and I've done this on every report. A friend of mine interviewed for a job with TikTok, based here in the United States on the East Coast, and had to do his interview at 10 p.m. So that he could talk to folks over in China. So.
So much for
I'm not
being
saying,
entirely
but I'm
based
saying.
in the U.S.
Yeah,
It is what it is. Remember, it is in the Communist Charter. This is not just right-wing talking points. The Communist Charter, and they acknowledge this, that if it means doing business that is successful for the Communist Chinese, they are authorized and educated to lie to your face. They don't have a moral problem with it. So they actually practice it. They study lying. So, I mean, granted, you say, well, Ken, business people lie here all the time. Yeah, but it's part of the curriculum. It is actually taught how to lie in China. So remember that. All right, let's shift to the skies. We have what is ostensibly the most advanced airline industry on Earth. It's where it really started, right here. Yet our air traffic and other aviation computers are dinosaurs, antiquated, decades old. How is it
Yeah.
possible? And what is the new Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, planning to do about it?
Well, I mean, let's talk about what happened on Saturday that many of us may not actually know, meaning the public. A Federal Aviation Administration system that provides safety messages to pilots experienced an outage for 3 hours. It is called the Notice to Airmen, or NOTAMs. And I will also note that the system only recently returned to being called the Notice to Airmen after the Biden administration renamed it to Notice to Air Missions in December of 2021 to be inclusive. But anyway, NOTAMs are used to provide pilots with information about temporary flight restrictions, changes in runway, weather issues, equipment issues, anything that would affect the safety of flight. Now, again, it was down for 3 hours on Saturday. And a few ways that pilots can get this information. One is pre-flight briefings before any pilot takes off. They usually, before they even board the plane, go through everything about the flight. The air traffic controllers can actually let pilots know. And then also there's an ACARS system, the Aircraft Communication Addressing and Reporting System, which uses ground and satellite relays to get this information to the actual planes. But all of this technology is from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Hasn't been updated. And if you have ever flown transatlantic or across the Pacific, there's a part of your flight where there's no communication between the airlines and your plane, right? Because you just can't. There's no way. There's no updated technology on the planes for them to get their information. There is some satellite relays, but it's not reliable. Obviously, what happened in Malaysia a number of years ago, not U.S. based, but still proves that an airplane can disappear. So United States Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy has pledged an overhaul to the entire air traffic control system. And it's a sentiment echoed by the National Air Traffic Controllers Association. And that's along with DOGE, right? And Elon Musk, and maybe Elon Musk, who launches rockets to save astronauts and has Starlink, the satellite, internet service, might be able to do something, to help the FAA. And DOGE and Secretary Duffy are working together to overhaul the system and have major breakthroughs by the middle to end of this year. So it is moving along, and it is an antiquated system, but you have to do it in line with what is happening, right? You can't take ATC down and the whole system while folks are flying. So it's going to be very intricate in how they transition the airlines to
They're going to have to do it in levels. They're going to have to do it in levels. So simultaneously do a new system while the old system works, and then have the new system like a redundant system on top of the old system. And by the way, the way
and
many
also
of the
it's
jets go
important
overseas right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for interrupting. I was just going to say it's not just U.S. based airlines; it's any airline that would fly into the United States. So that is every airline that currently flies in and out, foreign based included. So.
And what a lot of airlines do right now so that they have some communications as they fly overseas is they daisy link. So literally they communicate with each other, and they know that, okay, Virgin Atlantic took off at this time, American will take off at this time, and they fly about 100 miles, 200 miles apart, and they can communicate to one another. And they literally, it's crazy that in 2025, that's how they have to communicate. So American Airlines will tell Virgin will tell United, and they'll communicate back to a tower if there's a problem via the other planes. But you're right, at a time when we have satellites, that's just ridiculous that we have to do it that way. We even have cables that go across the Atlantic. Why can't you put up a buoy, a couple of buoys in the Atlantic that could take the
Well, we do have
communications?
satellites. I don't know if they are
Right,
in
but
the
the
sky.
satellites
So.
are too high up. That's the problem. They're too high up for it. And that's why you need a DOGE. You need someone like Elon Musk whose satellites are within the orbit. Anyway, we could get off on a whole show on that. But you're right. We need Elon to come up with his satellites. Those would work from a plane much more effectively than the current satellites that are in lunar orbit, basically. All right. Our brand and digital strategist, Fisher, who can be found on X, Threads, and Instagram with the username @Fisher, and through website fisher.media. Thank you for joining us this morning, Bill. Always good
See you
to
next
have you on,
week.
Fisher. You bet, sir. It is 8:33. We have 39 degrees. When we come back, they have trained thousands and thousands of dogs for humans who needed their help. We're going to check in with Canine Companions for Independence in their 50th year as they share with us their puppy cam. Plus, Mike says rain most of the day, clearing late in the afternoon, highs mid-50s, the full Garden State forecast when we return. And we'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings. We're coming right back. 8:33, Monday, March 24th. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, and we will talk special canine companions with Canine Companions for Independence in just a few. But first, the phone lines are open at 888-658-0234. Rain most of today, clearing late in the afternoon, highs mid-50s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with the full Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. A little bit of a wet start to walk the dogs, Ken, this morning. Walking my canine companion change of service dog, Rocco, out this morning with the umbrella, and he's like all happy. And then, decides to go to the far lamppost to do his business. Not the one close by. Have to go to the far one in the rain. So I have to wipe him down afterwards with all of that soaking wet weather that's around this morning. But nevertheless, we love them just the same. The good news is there's some afternoon clearing later today, so muddy paws likely if you take them out to run around later on. But I think by the time we get to tomorrow with that drier feel that sets in and really spring-like for the rest of this week, it stays pleasant here across New Jersey with some lovely weather on tap. For the rest of the day, however, rain at the shore until we get to about 4 or 5 o'clock, right up until the end of the day. We'll see those light showers continue. Temperatures warm up inland up to near 60 in Camden, but as long as that easterly breeze is blowing off of a 42-degree Atlantic, it's going to stay quite cool. We're running just around our average for the high of the day, and with temperatures feeling chilly this afternoon, I think we'll see a little bit of a warm-up where the sun breaks through the clouds, but until that time, it's going to stay rather wet. You can see the radar filling in northern New Jersey, so more rain for you, as it's just been a steady bombardment of those showers down in central and southern New Jersey. The rest of the week has many, many dry days, beginning with tomorrow. Wednesday is an overnight chance. It clears out by the morning. And then Thursday and Friday also look dry. But I think the weekend could have our next chance for some wet weather. Air quality looks great today with that fresh breeze off of the water. So we're good in that sense. And we keep it dry, I think, beginning around 3 and 4 o'clock today as that front pushes through. So there goes the rain. We're nice and dry this evening and tomorrow. Maybe a little shower or sprinkle later tomorrow night, but it clears out by daybreak on Wednesday. And that's primarily only for central and southern New Jersey. Dry again on Thursday and clear as well for Friday with that nice high pressure giving us a lovely milder feel as highs climb back into the upper 50s by the end of the week. Hey, maybe even as soon as tomorrow, we'll see highs up near 60 away from the shore. Some clouds early on Wednesday, clearing again on Friday and sunny by Friday afternoon up near 60. And then those clouds come in for Saturday and Sunday and could give us some wet weather into the weekend at times. With a slightly cooler feel through Wednesday and Thursday, we get that southerly breeze at the shore points, meaning it won't feel as chilly. But when that wind kicks up again on Thursday, it's going to be back to that cooler feel. Friday has another southwesterly breeze up around 60, and then I think the chances of rain are still there on Saturday and Sunday. So overall, Ken, looking good and looking very pleasant for the rest of the week because Rocco, the dog is just sitting here like, I want to go outside, want to play, getting a little bored, but don't worry, there's plenty of outdoor park time for the rest of this week.
You know what? I think you need to pull Rocco into the picture because we have a very special segment coming up right now.
Rocco, here. Oh, he's like fast asleep. Rocco, come here.
Oh,
come here, Rocco. Oh, he is so tired. All right, come on. You want to come up?
He's like, dude,
let's do. Oh, actually, he knows his canine. This is a great commercial for canine companions. He knows their commands. Yes. So you're doing your big stretch. Okay, here, visit. Rocco, here, up. No, now he's too tired. He doesn't want to do it.
Oh my gosh. Rocco, what kind of a TV dog are you?
Here he is.
There we go. Hi, Rocco. Oh my God, he's a mush.
All 70 pounds of this lab. Yep.
Keep him right there, bud. Keep him right there because we're going to bring on CCI right now. All right. So Canine Companions for Independence. We're celebrating a remarkable 50 years of them, the nation's leading nonprofit provider of service dogs. Did you get your dog from them?
Yes, he is a change of service dog. So he didn't make it through the last month of training. So he has
Aw.
90% of his training, but he wanted to go play with his other puppy friends, and that's not allowed for a service dog. So we got him as a change of
But that
service.
doesn't
Yeah.
mean that they're not special, loving, wonderful puppies. So see, you got Rocco as a result. But the nation's leading nonprofit provider of service dogs is Canine Companions for Independence, right here in the tri-state area, here on Long Island. I hear a puppy from helping children, adults, and veterans with disabilities gain
Rocco, here.
independence to placing over 8,000 teams nationwide. CCI's impact is undeniable. As part of the anniversary festivities, Canine Companions is launching a live puppy cam, giving us a front row seat to watch future service dogs in their earliest days. Joining us now is Susan Porteous, Canine Companions Puppy Program Manager. Susan, good morning. And who are your friends there?
Good morning. Yes, I'm here with the F litter of future service dogs for Canine Companions, and they are excited this morning.
I love this. I'm watching Mike and Rocco next to you, Susan, with your little companions. This is awesome. Poor Mike is like, all right, I want to get ready for the next weather hit.
Back.
But
It's
thank
my
you, Mike, for
back.
bringing Rocco. Holding a 70-pound pooch. I love it. Thank you, Mike. And Susan will bring you in full here. That's hilarious. Too much. And Mike and Rocco, so cute there. Well, Canine Companions is marking its 50th anniversary this year. And as the puppy program manager, tell us what the milestone means to you and the organization after 5 decades of changing and affecting so many lives.
Yeah, it's really an incredible milestone for us. Like you said, we've placed over 8,000 service dog teams nationwide, all completely free of charge. And we are just so excited to be continuing that gift of giving people with disabilities greater independence through adorable dogs.
And you've placed over 547 dogs this year alone, and you have 2,764 active teams across the country. How does the puppy program set the foundation for this incredible work?
Absolutely. Every service dog starts as a puppy, and our wonderful volunteer puppy raisers take these little guys home at 8 weeks, and they lay the foundation for everything that a service dog is going to learn.
And it's intense training. I've gone online and looked at what it takes. It's amazing. Talk about the live puppy cam, which is streaming now as part of the 50th anniversary celebration. What's it like seeing these 7-week-old little babies on screen, and what do the viewers get to witness in the earliest stages?
Oh, it's so much fun watching these guys. We are live all through Thursday. You'll see them playing, learning their basic socialization, eating together. You'll also start to get to know who's who. This is Franco. We have 50 in the group named for our 50th anniversary. And we even have a couple of puppies that you can sponsor and continue to follow their journey all the way from baby to service dog.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize you could sponsor dogs like that. That's awesome. What does it take? Talk about the sponsorship.
Absolutely. So we have Frederick is one of them right here, our little yellow guy in the group. And if you make a gift via our website, you get a little sponsorship kit, including a little stuffed Frederick that gets to come home with you. And then you get updates on his progress all the way through.
Oh my God, it's like report cards. I love it. That is so cute. And you oversee the journey of the puppies from birth to volunteer raisers. Walk us through what happens after the dogs leave the breeder caretakers, like the ones on the cam that you have right now, and how you prepare them for their year and a half with volunteers. It's an intense process, I should say.
It is. Our volunteers are really phenomenal. These guys are going to fly all over the country, many with volunteer private pilots, to get to those puppy raisers. And then over the next year and a half, they're going to be working on socialization, basic obedience training, and starting to go all the public places that a service dog is going to need to be when they grow up. We really couldn't do it without our volunteer puppy raisers, and we are definitely in need in all 50 states. So we're excited to have anyone who might be interested.
Now, we just saw Mike Favetta with his dog Rocco with the commands, and the dog did respond. The puppies eventually learned about 40 commands during all their training, helping people with disabilities, people like who have PTSD or cerebral palsy. What are the special to see the master that makes a big difference?
Absolutely. These guys are going to have to be very handler focused, learning to pick up dropped items, maneuvering next to wheelchairs, turning lights on and off. We need a confident puppy, a stable puppy, and a puppy who absolutely loves humans as well.
And with 523 people currently on the wait list, demand, of course, is very high. So, how does the puppy program plan to keep up as Canine Companions looks ahead to the next 50 years?
Absolutely, it's a long wait list, and we need more raisers to raise more puppies, to place more service dogs. There's a lot of wonderful people out there waiting for those dogs that are going to receive them completely free of charge, but we can't do it without our volunteers.
And the live puppy cam runs now through March 27th. What's a special moment or behavior that you're hoping the viewers are going to catch while they watch these future service dogs?
I love watching them at lunchtime. They all are very food motivated, of course. What Labrador doesn't love their lunch? And it's absolutely adorable to see them all dive into the bowl together at once.
That's the best, seeing doggies eat. Volunteers certainly the backbone of raising puppies. You got over 4,383 nationwide. How could somebody watching today, for instance, get involved with the puppy program? Maybe even raise a pup like the ones on cam if they want to become volunteers to take them in.
Yes, we encourage anyone to check us out on our website. So we're live at canine.org/puppy, and you can learn all about our service dogs, how to get involved, how to make a donation, and how to sponsor one of these little guys like Frederick that I got right here.
And after 50 years and thousands of teams graduated, what is the biggest legacy you hope the puppy program is going to leave behind for so many people with disabilities? We're saying we're fawning over how cute they are, but these dogs are going to be working and doing a serious job.
Yeah, the legacy is really that it's a gift of independence. Each of our puppy raisers gets to meet the person that the dog is ultimately placed with and present the dog to them to really show that independence they've given them. And there's nothing like being a part of that legacy and seeing the independence that these adorable little puppies are going to bring to someone someday. It's an incredible thing to be a part of.
Well, I love this. What is the website for anyone who wants more info about CCI, to sponsor a dog, or to check out the new puppy cam? How can they check it out?
Yes, join us at canine.org/puppy. We're live all week long.
All right, canine.org/puppy on the screen. You see it right there. Susan Porteous, you're amazing. Puppy program manager. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Give him a big hug for me, please. Thank you. It is now 39 degrees at 8:46. When we come back, if you like air shows and a beautiful ocean shore, have we got an event for you? Plus, meteorologist Mike Pavetta says rain most of today, clearing late in the afternoon, highs mid-50s, the full Garden State forecast when we return. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings, stream daily on Roku, Fire TV, News on Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, Facebook, and X, and now streamed live on Rumble and Twitch. Just go to twitch.tv/On New Jersey. We're coming right back. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. For your Monday, it is 8:47. The Visit Atlantic City Soar and Shore Festival returns to Atlantic City this summer. But first, rain most of today, clearing late in the afternoon, highs mid-50s. Meteorologist Mike Pavetta, with sore arms from lifting his pooch Rocco, has the Garden State forecast. Good morning to you, Mike.
It was my morning lifting routine, lifting him up, which I'll do sometimes in the wintertime when they put the calcium and salt down on the sidewalks because,
Right.
hurts his paws. So, yeah, they got to lift them. And I think I hurt my neck on that one. But hey, we should have plenty of great weather for this afternoon. Yes, there is a little wet weather around this morning. So you get that lovely wet dog smell if you take them out for the morning run. But I think with the afternoon clearing, it'll look a lot better. A little touch of fog there in northern New Jersey. And the airport delays are actually looking okay. The area airports here in New Jersey, Newark, looking okay with minor delays due to all of this wet weather, even down toward Atlantic City and Philly. You'd expect with these winds and rain for there to be problems, but nope. major airports doing just fine early on this morning with that rain. Now, with the northern New Jersey forecast starting off with some light showers that linger through the middle of the afternoon, say until about 2 or 3 o'clock. And then we see breaks in the clouds in the northwestern corner of the state, helping to warm things up a bit. We may only get to 53, 54 degrees, maybe 55 there over toward Blairstown and Hope and Washington. But as the rain falls, it helps put that dent in the drought. We've seen an improvement with a severe drought in southern New Jersey, a little moderate drought popping up there in the northern part of the state. But as the rainfall amounts have been higher than average in the last 30 days across the coast, still a bit dry for western sections and even the northern half of New Jersey over the last month or so, with the rainfall deficit up to about an inch there in Sussex and Morris County. With the rain coming to an end this afternoon, we see a little bit of a warm-up, but there's another warm-up on the way for the beginning of April. That spreads back into the desert southwest. And then I think we'll see slightly higher than average rain chances at the end of the month, even into the first few days of April here in the Garden State. With the dry weather back today, we keep it dry into tomorrow. Pleasant weather for the rest of this week. It'll feel great. A little bit breezy throughout our Tuesday, but the winds relax on Wednesday. Calm and sunny on Thursday and Friday. A great looking week ahead. I don't think we can keep that around into the weekend. I think clouds come back and there's higher chances of rain for Saturday and Sunday. The forecast isn't set in stone, but there's still room for improvement. I think it's trending wetter and may go that way into the weekend. So enjoy the dry weather tomorrow through Friday with the pleasant weather around, and maybe we'll make it back to 60 by Sunday if the weather clears in time. But I think we start off a little bit wet Friday night into Saturday. Time will tell. We have a few more days to work on that part of the forecast. But overall, Ken, looking great as we celebrate National Puppy Day here in the Favetta household. Rocco gets some extra treats for participating as a good sport.
Like that. About a belly rub. Belly rubs are free.
Belly rub, a lot of that. And then a bath tomorrow because, it's been about 3
Oh, that's a
days.
good thing. After the wet dog smell, we'll get rid of that. All right, Mike. Thank you so much. Have a great day, sir. Good to see you.
You too.
It is now, you bet, 39 degrees at 8:50. And we do have a check of Garden State traffic here in a mess right now on the Garden State Parkway. This is mile marker 149.2 southbound GSP north of 148, which is by the Essex Toll Plaza. You could see just a lot of volume at this hour, some damp roadways causing that, a lot of brake checking as you head into the toll plaza on the right side of the screen, but otherwise moving. That's not bad at all. We do have a disabled vehicle on 280 westbound west of exit 9 Pleasant Avenue, which is West Orange, one left lane closed. Crash on 295 right now, northbound south of exit 56, which is Route 206 Bordentown Township, one left lane closed with about a 10 to 15 minute delay through there. Crash on Corbin Street northbound, north of Fleet Street in Elizabeth. The left lane is blocked. That's in the vicinity of the airport. And we have a crash on the Turnpike, the Hudson County Extension outside interchange 14A, Route 440, the Bayonne Bridge in Jersey City. 2 lanes are blocked. Finally, we have that emergency construction east and westbound I-80. This is by exit 34, Route 15 in Wharton, New Jersey. You can see everything has just stopped. About an hour delay as you make your way through Wharton to avoid I-80. That is because of sinkhole repair. The westbound side should reopen in about a week. The eastbound side, not for 6 to 8 weeks. It is 8:52 right now, and exciting news out of Atlantic City as Visit Atlantic City teams up with Herb Gillen Air Shows to bring back a high-flying tradition. The Visit Atlantic City Soar and Shore Festival is set to dazzle visitors this summer with a free air show experience on the beach, promising for families and aviation fans alike. Joining us now is Gary Musich, who is the president and CEO of Visit Atlantic City. Gary, the air show, long a beloved event in Atlantic City. What inspired Visit Atlantic City to partner with Herb Gillen Air Shows to bring it back this year?
Well, thank you for having me, Ken. The air show's been in Atlantic City and part of the chamber program for 20 years, and over the last couple of years, funding and some other processes took place, and but the real reason that the air show didn't happen in Atlantic City was the change in schedule of the jet teams that went from being able to perform midweek and really 365 days of availability a year to just 32 weekends. So funding was discussed, but really the show stopped because of scheduling, and we tried to restart it last year, but timing didn't work out. And so in collaboration with the Chamber, the Greater Atlantic City Chamber, and the South Jersey Transportation Authority, we were able to, with the help of Mike Chait, the president of the Chamber, secure Herb Gillian. And they're out of Michigan. The event's the 15th and 16th of July. And it's not going to be of the grandeur yet of the previous show that had 20 years to develop into this massive show that drew hundreds of thousands of people, but it's a step towards that now. So the goal is to start it. It's more of a civilian-based show. Herb Gillian's award-winning with the ICAST, International Council of Air Shows, that Mike Chait, again, our partner and president of the chamber, has been a member of for years. So collaboratively, we all got together and said, okay, how do we do this? Get another show started, bring people to and tourism back to Atlantic City, maybe in time add components to it and create this festival environment, but at least get it going again. So that's what we've done. And we've done it collectively as a group. We actually have our planning meetings starting now. And it'll be a smaller event, a free event, smaller event to start with, but build back with the hope and goal to make this a big air show and festival at the Jersey Shore, similar to what people saw in the past, but with some new components, and bring that grandeur back to Atlantic City.
And you say again, it's free, which is great because in these economic times when families are really hit hard, that's difficult. So it's nice to come to Atlantic City. You want to do a little spending in the casino's great, and then you get to hang out on the beach in the day and enjoy that beautiful show on a beautiful shore. We are so blessed to have that gem of Atlantic City and the Jersey Shore. It's amazing. So how important was it to keep the event accessible to everybody?
Very important. I think, a couple of things have happened where we've consolidated the leisure marketing message. Leisure-based events like this are critical to tourism, bringing tourism to any destination. So I think you have to continue to have and develop events like this and add components to it that are interest across the board and different types of components. Like this week, for example, there's an antique car show in Boardwalk Hall. And this isn't why we selected this week. These are other events that are going on, but this is how you tie other things into this to drive tourism. Mm-hmm. The Jimmy Johnson fishing tournament is going to be that week in Atlantic City as well. And we're looking to add other components, whether they're sand sculpture tournaments, kite flying tournaments, other things that can just drive interest and make that beach look full, exciting. The Jersey Shore, make it to Jersey Shore in the summer what the Jersey Shore is, which is a lot of fun, events, activity. And again, the goal to drive interest and tourism to our city. And that's why you do these big events. That's, it brings millions in tourism to the city for our local businesses, the occupancy in our hotels. And on an annual basis, we want to continue to develop things like this.
We have just a few seconds left, Gary. What's the website people can get for more info?
It's great. Thank you. Visit AtlanticCity.com. Answers everything you can possibly need on Atlantic City, booking guest rooms, venues, restaurants, casino and hotel properties. New website launched January 14th. Visit AtlanticCity.com. And it's easy to get to from anywhere in New Jersey. Get in the car. You don't have to pay for a plane ticket. It's a great destination. What a great way to spend a weekend. It's July 15th and 16th in this case, but every weekend there's something in Atlantic City. The Visit Atlantic City Soar and Shore Festival, specifically July 15th and 16th. Gary Musich, President and CEO of Visit Atlantic City. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thanks, Ken, for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. And that is ONNJ Jersey Mornings. Meteorologist Mike Vivetta says most of the day we're going to have rain today, clearing late in the afternoon, highs in the mid-50s. That is your Monday, March 24th. The day has flown by. I'm Ken Rosato. Remember, we're streamed daily on Roku, Fire TV, News on Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, Facebook, and X, and now streamed live on Rumble and Twitch. Just go to twitch.tv/ONNJ. If you like what you saw, tell all your friends about us. In fact, the second we are done, pick up the phone and say, hey, Marge, have you checked out this ONNJ Jersey Morning? I'll give you $1. Maybe I won't. But nonetheless, it's nice to do. Be a good person. We'll catch you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Until then, have a wonderful day.